Hello beautiful ones, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Joseph, it's really lovely to meet you. Now then, I'm not talking really quickly for any specific reason other than the fact that I've got a tray of oven chips in the oven and I wanted to see whether I could do this makeup technique quickly enough to go and eat them before they're sticks of charcoal, basically. So what I thought I'd do today is try blending a serum onto my face and a foundation onto my face, which is way too dark. However, I was going to incorporate a concealer on my face, all three at the same time. So without any further waffle, let's crack on with it, shall we? And I'll explain to you as I'm doing it the theory behind it. So I was about to say, excuse the fact this is import grade. It's so not import grade. It was to start off with. It's now in landscape. So should I start off with the this is a dupe of Clinique's Moisture Surge Concentrate, and there is a review on my channel of this. It's an unspoken review. It's the only one I've ever done, and it was £1.50, something ridiculously cheap like that from B&M. It's a direct dupe of Moisture Surge, which goes for something stupid like £35–40. This was £1.50. Body Stories, and it's called Moisture Burst. So what I'll do is just get some of that out there. That is really lovely. It's a clear gel. You could use a serum, I suppose. Why not? Let's just whop it on the old choppies, shall we? Need a little bit more. Again, it's so cheap you can use loads of this stuff. And I have a feeling that we probably will need loads of moisture on our skin today, because as some of you guys out there know, I don't use primers. This is, I got this from B&M, no, Poundland yesterday, £1.50, it's Revlon. I don't know whether you can see that or not. It's Revlon, it's called Candid, Candid Glow, basically. So this is a really a very glowing formulation. It's packed with antioxidants as well. It's supposed to be one of those environmentally protective formulations. However, the shade is just way too dark. I did buy this on purpose with a view to filming this tutorial today, just to see how it all goes together. This is in shade, I think it's True Beige. Yeah, it's a cool tone. So and do try to match the color family of your foundation with the concealer you use today, because it gets a bit messy otherwise. So I'm using a cool tone foundation today, which doesn't match my skin at all. And then we'll blend all of this together using a foundation brush. How does that sound? So if I just applied, got my soaked foundation brush now and went in and applied all of the, blended all of this up on my chops, it would be way too dark. I'd look like a baked bean or a can of Tango. I would. So we need to balance it out with something which again is cool toned but much lighter than the foundation. I'm so out of breath because it's so hot, and there's a bloody great big blue bottle in here as well. It's the middle of summer. Well, it's not, it's actually spring. So wherever you've put the foundation, just try and dot the concealer around it. Obviously don't put it directly onto the foundation because you'll end up with a mess. And this is a self-setting concealer, so I need to work relatively quickly. He says going at 1,000 miles an hour. And if my oven chips are burned to a cinder, I'll just have to put more in the oven, won't I, guys? I will. How are you all? You all okay? What are you all up to today? Today is Wednesday, my rare day off from work. That should be more. I did this on the back of my hand earlier without the serum, and the colours did blend really nicely together. However, the incorporation of because both of these are silicone based, I don't know whether the serum is going to interfere with the equation. So in here I've got 2 beauty blenders and my stippling foundation brush, which I got from Wilko's. This is possibly the most expensive brush I own. Something like £8.99. So again, it's not really breaking the bank, but it's not that I just need to tap it off because it is literally soaking wet. If I just tap it on the arm of the sofa, because I am literally that glamorous. So that is still really wet, and I'm just going to start blending this lot together. Can you see how wet it is, guys? And I'm hoping to get a really sheer but beautiful result from this combination of concealer, foundation and serum. You could use, as I said before at the start of the tutorial, use any serum you want, as long as it's quite viscous. Something like Advanced Night Repair I don't think would work because it's quite runny. Although I don't see why not really. I just, you know. So, and because the water's now fighting with the silicones on my face, you've got to not apply loads of pressure, but you've got to apply some pressure just to shift it all around and blend all of the three together. So that's looking pretty phenomenal, isn't it? Moustache is an entirely different story, guys. Just work whatever's left up into on the brush into your ears, because you can see my ears are bright. I just had a really lovely hot bath. I didn't shave my skin because I thought that the stubble basically, I was going to say the stubs of the whiskers, it's just called stubble, isn't it? Should I stop showing off? Pretending to make up words. The stubble basically I thought could simulate dry skin and take a breath, man. Right, okay. Start again? There's no way I can start this again because my chips will be on their way to oblivion as opposed to my stomach, which is where they will be in about 15 minutes, all going well. What was I talking about? Gone, totally gone, guys, as is my my wand. Things just tend to rush in and out of this old brain of mine, don't they? But I do have the odd good idea, don't I, guys? I do. Come on, let's face it. I have some good ideas, don't I? I'm not a genius. I'm not trying to say that for a second, but... And the reason I'm doing this is because of my claim yesterday in the video I uploaded yesterday, which was the sandwiching technique. I told you all that, and I've said to you so many times before, right down to the neck. Told you all so many times before too, haven't I? That I don't use primers or anything like that. So I thought that some of you out there will obviously have dry skin or mature skin and need to use some. Trying to kill this bloody blue bottle. Go away. Trying to need to incorporate some kind of moisture into a formulation which you put on your skin. And I guess I just felt that if I taught you a new technique whereby you apply the serum or your gel or your skin, I don't see why you couldn't use a moisturiser with this technique either, at the same time as you apply the foundation and the concealer, or just your foundation directly onto your skin. That's why I'm doing this today. Now, the reason I'm using a soaked brush is because it helps a whole lot to just blend together and just leaves your skin looking amazing. It just does. It just gives you that beautiful glow, which makes it all look so natural, which is my biggest requirement from anything I slap onto this 50-year-old face, which will soon be very, very 51. It will, and I'm dreading it, guys. Absolutely. No, I'm so not. I love being 50. It's So I was just getting a little bit more of the foundation and the mixture on the back of. And if you're uncomfortable with doing this on your face, do you know what I mean? By applying the serum, concealer and foundation onto your face, then just mix them up on the back of your hand or a plate or something, and then that way you'll have the serum and the benefits of the skin serum. You'll also have the benefits of the foundation, and if your foundation is slightly too dark, like the Candid Glow is by Revlon, that's upside down, isn't it? Yes, it is. Typical. If your foundation is too dark, then just go in, as I said before at the start of the tutorial, go in with a cool toned, or because this foundation is cool toned, you need a cool toned concealer, several shades lighter, just to balance the two out. If your foundation is warm toned, make sure your concealer is warm toned. Similarly, that word defeated me at the start of this channel. It's not going to win anymore. Similarly, if you've got a neutral tone foundation, do make sure your concealer is neutral toned too, in a nutshell. And concealers come in many different shades these days. Long gone are the days of, do you know what I mean, buying them when they used to come in that bullet, a bit almost like a lipstick bullet, and they were like pan stick, weren't they? And you only had something like one shade or two shades at the most, light and dark or something like that. I remember those days. It used to be Boots number 17 or something like that. So should we have a quick inspection glasses? And it's probably going to put this on and look horrendous, but God, the glasses are filthy. So, yeah, eyebrows obviously need attention quite badly, but just before I go today, I'll, because my oven chip's now burning, I can smell charcoal and flames gushing from the, no, I can't really, but, yeah, before I go today, I will go and fix up my eyebrows, and all I do is just go and get the corner of a flannel and just, you know, just clean off the excess maquillage, and I might even do stoshy as well. But I think that my skin now looks a lot better than it did, doesn't it? And feels incredibly hydrated. That just feels amazing. It feels really, it just feels like I've got moisturiser on, and it's glowing, isn't it? Now my skin is glowing. Yep, so now the chin's looking a little bit yellowy, so what I might have to do there is just to, just a little bit more concealer. Shall I put a little blob there? See if I can lighten the old chinny chin up a little bit more. Now the poor arm of my chair was sopping then, so I'll have to just do that. Oh, I can't, I was going to say I just have to do the same thing. I'll have to, guys. So just work the concealer in, and that should neutralise that horrible orangey tone which was there before. Yep, it's doing it. Can you see that? Can you hear that buzzing noise in here, beautiful ones? That's Mr. Blue Bottle, Mr. Huge, massive Blue Bottle, who's going to be squashed in about 5 seconds flat, or as soon as I finished this studio, because he's not having any of my oven chips at all. They're McCain oven chips as well, which makes them even more special and even more desirable, doesn't it? It does. So let me just, that's looking a little bit obvious now, because the foundation is, or the concealers, the concealer and foundation are both gathering into my facial stubble. That's what we decided to call it, wasn't it? Stubble. It was. It's grabbing onto the combo of the both, and it's just giving me a much thicker coverage down there in that region, although I think the cheeks and the forehead look pretty good, don't they? I'll go and do my eyebrows and be back in 2 shakes. This video is now 12 minutes long, so I'll go and check on the oven chips as well, back in a minute. Good news, beautiful ones, oven chips are still intact. I turned the oven down to around 120 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius, never know the difference between the two. But, and the other piece of good news is the fact that maybe not quite so good news, but if my landlady is watching, hello, Alison, I think her name is, not too sure, my bad if I've got it wrong, I do apologise, but I have grey throws over the white, beautiful white sofa you left for me, so there'll be no makeup on the arm of the chair, that's a promise. Even if there is, I'll be scrubbing for the next 6 months possibly. No, I'm joking, there's no makeup on there, I'll just check, so, and I won't do that again. So what do we think to this? Skin's looking pretty damn good now, isn't it, guys? It is. And so how did we do that? We applied, first of all, I went in with an oil-free serum, a gel serum. So this is the Body Stories Moisture Burst serum. And I did put quite a bit on, although you can put a little bit less on if you want. And then I went in with a darker foundation, although matching my skin tones group, or group of skin tones, cool, warm, neutral, again, FYI. And then where I hadn't put the foundation, I went in with a much lighter concealer in the in-between areas, and then I soaked my brush. You saw me do that, and then I dried it on the arm of the chair, left quite a bit of makeup on the arm of the sofa, my bad, and then I just blended it all together. So it couldn't be simpler than that, guys, could it really? And as you do this technique, you will you'll get faster and faster and faster at it, and do you know what I mean? Obviously, maybe even perhaps mix it on the back of your hand or a plate, or a little plastic pot even. Just make yourself a week's supply at a time. No longer than a week, I would say, because obviously as soon as something like foundation is at the bottom and exposed to wear, it starts to oxidize quite badly. And mixing it with stuff like skincare and concealers will hasten that process too, although I personally think that doing it, you know, the way I've done it, or on the back of your hand and then using it immediately, will just give you this skin, and you see that piece of glow there on that cheek and on my nose and on my forehead. That wouldn't be there had I just gone in with a dry foundation brush. Use a beauty blender if you want, or use fingers, it's entirely up to you. Although how can you, I suppose you can stick your fingers in water, but that's getting messy, isn't it? So always use a soaked beauty blender or a soaked foundation brush, or brush de foundation. Should I stop that? Alright, I'm going to go now, guys, and I'm going to have some bread and butter with my chips. I'm going to make chip butties. Why not have some daddy sauce with it? Okay, if you enjoyed this very, very short tutorial, please don't give it a thumbs up. Please do give it a thumbs up, in fact. Also, leave a comment and I will endeavour to reply. If I don't reply immediately, I promise I will reply eventually, possibly even 3 or 4 months down the line, but I will get back to you. And also, don't forget to subscribe. It helps the channel grow, helps with the YouTube algorithm and all of that. Stop rushing, man. Those chips are absolutely fine. Remember, I do love you all, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Oh, links to everything in the description. Take care.